Welcome back to the channel, everyone. If you love captivating stories about men transforming into women in unique and fascinating ways, then be sure to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. Now, let's jump right into today's tale.
Chapter 6. The Final Touches. Naruto sat on the edge of the medical table, his legs dangling nervously, as Tsunade prepared the final stage of his transformation. The room was eerily quiet, except for the faint clinking of tools being arranged on a tray. The silence only made his nerves worse. "All right, Naruto," Tsunade said, snapping on a pair of gloves with her usual no-nonsense demeanor. "This is the last step. Once we're done here, you'll be a complete biological match for Samui. Every detail will be perfect." Naruto swallowed hard, his throat dry. "You mean, like, everything?" Tsunade arched an eyebrow. "Yes, everything." He scratched the back of his neck awkwardly. "Even, down there?" Tsunade rolled her eyes, her patience already wearing thin. "Yes, Naruto. That's what complete means. Do you need me to draw you a diagram?" Naruto, and Warnabill, face turned as red as a tomato. "No, I got it. Geez. You don't have to be so blunt about it." Jiraiya, standing off to the side with a clipboard, stifled a giggle. Sakura, who was leaning against the far wall, didn't even bother hiding her smirk. "Look, Naruto," Tsunade said, her tone softening slightly. "I know this is uncomfortable for you, but it's necessary. If you're going to pull this off, there can't be any room for doubt. Not from the people around you, and definitely not from yourself. Do you understand?" Naruto hesitated, then nodded. "Yeah, I get it." "Good," Tsunade said, stepping closer. "Now lay back and try to relax. This won't hurt, but it's going to feel strange." Naruto winced. "Right. That's exactly what I wanted to hear." As Tsunade's glowing hands hovered over his body, Naruto felt a deep, resonating warmth spread through him. It wasn't like the tingling sensation from the earlier phases of the transformation. This was different. It was more intense, more invasive, like his entire body was being rewritten at the most fundamental level. He closed his eyes, trying to focus on anything other than the bizarre sensations coursing through him. His chakra seemed to respond instinctively, swirling in rhythm with Tsunade. He could feel the changes happening in real time, his body adapting, reshaping itself to match Samui's perfectly. After what felt like an eternity, the warmth faded, leaving behind a strange sense of emptiness. Naruto opened his eyes slowly, his heart pounding in his chest. "It's done," Tsunade said, stepping back and wiping her hands on a towel. "Take a look." Naruto sat up, his movements stiff and hesitant. He didn't want to look, but he couldn't stop himself. Swinging his legs over the side of the table, he walked over to the full-length mirror in the corner of the room. The person staring back at him wasn't Naruto Uzumaki. It was Samui. He blinked, his mouth falling open slightly. His hair, now long and silky, cascaded down his back in golden waves. His face was flawless, every feature perfectly symmetrical and feminine. His body was, well, curvier than he wanted to admit, with a tiny waist, wide hips, and a bust that was impossible to ignore, no matter how hard he tried. Naruto reached up hesitantly, touching his face, then his chest, then his hips. It all felt real. Too real. I don't even look like me anymore," he whispered, his voice trembling. He froze at the sound. His voice was higher now, softer with none of the rough edges he was used to. Exactly, Tsunade said, stepping up beside him. You're not supposed to look like you. You're Samui now, right down to the smallest detail. Even her closest allies wouldn't be able to tell the difference. Naruto turned to her, his eyes wide. But what about? Tsunade cut him off with a wave of her hand. Everything, Naruto. I mean it. You're biologically identical to her in every way. Naruto's face turned bright red. This is so weird. It's only weird if you make it weird, Tsunade said, crossing her arms. Now stop gawking at yourself. We've got work to do. Over the next few hours, Naruto stumbled his way through the most awkward training session of his life. Every movement felt foreign. His balance was off, his center of gravity had shifted, and even the way his clothes fit was distracting. Stop slouching, Sakura said, poking him between the shoulder blades as he attempted to walk across the room. Samui has perfect posture. Stand up straight. I am standing straight, Naruto snapped, only to trip over his own feet a moment later. He caught himself before he hit the ground, his cheeks burning with embarrassment. These stupid legs are too long. They're not stupid, Sakura said, rolling her eyes. You're just clumsy. Now try again. Naruto groaned, but did as he was told, focusing on keeping his steps slow and deliberate. He hated to admit it, but Sakura was right. His new body wasn't the problem. He just wasn't used to it yet. By the end of the session, he was drenched in sweat, his muscles aching from the effort of trying to move like someone else. He flopped onto the nearest chair, glaring at Sakura. This is torture. You think this is bad? Tsunade said, smirking. Wait until you have to fight like her. Naruto groaned. Kill me now. The next day, Naruto's training was put to the test. Tsunade had arranged a mock mission scenario, complete with actors posing as enemy, shinobi, and Samui's allies. The goal was simple. Naruto had to interact with them as Samui without giving himself away. He stood outside the training field, his heart pounding as he adjusted the collar of Samui's signature outfit. The snug fit still made him uncomfortable, but he tried to push the thought aside. You've got this, Sakura said, giving his shoulder a reassuring squeeze. Just remember everything you've learned. Naruto nodded, taking a deep breath. Right? Everything I've learned. No big deal. As he stepped onto the field, he was immediately approached by one of the actors. A burly man, posing as one of Samui's subordinates. Lady Samui, the man said, bowing slightly. We've been waiting for you. Naruto froze for half a second, before forcing himself to smile. Apologies for the delay, he said, mimicking Samui's calm, measured tone. I had some unexpected business to attend to. The man nodded, seemingly satisfied. Shall we proceed with the mission briefing? Yes, Naruto said, his voice steady despite the panic bubbling beneath the surface. Lead the way. The rest of the scenario played out smoothly, though there were a few close calls. At one point, Naruto nearly slipped back into his usual speech patterns, but he caught himself just in time. By the end of the exercise, he was exhausted, but relieved. Well done, Tsunade said as he returned to the observation area. You still need some polish, but you're almost ready. Naruto managed a tired smile. Almost. Tsunade smirked. Don't get cocky, Naruto. You've come a long way, but the real test is yet to come. Naruto nodded, his determination rekindled. Bring it on. For the first time since the transformation began, he felt like he could do this. He could finish the mission. He could protect Konoha. Even if it meant looking in the mirror and seeing someone else staring back.